Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. I have another Justice League action figure to review for you today. A Justice League action figure, it's fun to say. This here is Superman in the 4.5-inch line. Comes with these two accessories. Taking a look on the back, it shows how he can use the accessories from any of the figures released. There's also a Wonder Woman and a Joker. I just haven't been able to get my hands on them yet. They look pretty fun. Of course, these are made by Mattel since they have license for pretty much all things DC. The line has this kind of Power Connects logo here, basically signifying that all the figures can use their accessories and all the connection ports are exactly the same across all the figures. So, kind of a cool little gimmick. You can also connect them to some of the vehicles and stuff. So, when we review a vehicle, we will take a look at that feature as well. So let's get Superman out of the packaging and we'll take a closer look. So here's the figure out of the packaging. And I have to say, I really like the stylized animation they went with for this series. I think it's pretty cool. You have the really prominent kind of big chin for Superman and real kind of flat top hairdo. I don't know, I kind of like it. The only thing I really have to complain about, though, it's really showing up more prominent on camera, which is kind of funny. It must be something with the lighting, but you can see that the flesh tone for the neck is definitely not the same as the headpiece, and it kind of makes it look strange in the way that it's very obvious, like his head is a separate piece from his neck, which of course it has to be, but I just mean when you look at it. It's not as bad in person, which is kind of strange. For some reason on camera, it's really prominent. But that's really my only complaint. Otherwise, I think the paint on the torso is good. I like the legs. I think they did a great job with the boots. The cape is the same nice material as Batman's cape. It doesn't feel like it's going to rip or tear or anything. And of course, you have the connector port on the back for the accessories, and then it pegs through the cape. They kind of just had to do that because otherwise you would have to kind of move the capes to the side and then peg these in and then have it hang down like Boba Fett with his backpack or something. I just think it was a smarter, easier suggestion, and I kind of applaud their decision to just peg through the cape. It works. But yeah, articulation-wise, the head can move from side to side. Now his definitely does not feel like it has up and down movement. So maybe these things are not supposed to, and I broke Batman's. I don't know. I hope not. The shoulder can move up and down and move around. You have the 90 degrees in the elbow, as well as a swivel there at the same joint. You have a waist swivel. You have an out to the side and front to back for the hip. You have a little bit of a butt flap, which impedes a little bit of the movement, but really not that big a deal. And then you have 90 degrees at the knee, as well as a swivel at the knee as well. The ankle is one solid piece, so there's no movement there. But I like it. I really like the look of this. I think it looks nice. I like Superman, a little 4.5-inch figure here. I think they did a pretty good job. Now, as far as the accessories go, it's always weird to have Superman come with accessories because he doesn't need vehicles, he can fly. He doesn't need weapons because he has laser eyes. He doesn't really need a shield because he's indestructible. So it's always hard to make vehicles and accessories for Superman. I understand this. You're kind of faced with an impossible challenge. But they're decent accessories. I like the pincer claw weapon the most out of the two. It does have the connection on both sides, so you can peg it into a vehicle or the back of a figure. But it also has a regular handle. So if you want to just put it in his hand for him to hold it, works pretty well. Looks pretty good. And of course, it can be used by any of the other figures in the line, so maybe it would make sense to give it to somebody else. You also get this shield, which it's a decent looking shield. I like it's in the shape of his crest, and it has the crest there on the top. But the handle on the back is horizontal. Now, in my opinion, it should be vertical, so that the hand can grasp it here and hold the shield like this. Well, the way they have it, you kind of have to put it on like this. And then maybe they were thinking of like a Captain America type thing, having the shield like that. But I feel like if you're going to do something like that, you should have had like a bigger loop here so that you could put it in two ways and then it would stay. Because it really just falls down. So, I don't know. But the other thing is you can connect this by this port towards the back. You could do something like this and then have him hold it by the normal handle of this, although it gives it a little bit too much weight. but you can kind of make something like that work. Yeah, like I said, I definitely like the pincer claw weapon more than the shield, but I feel like you could get something to work with the shield, whether you clipped it onto somebody else's accessory, or I don't know. Can I move his hand in such a way that it would make sense for him to hold it like that? I really don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. The handle placement is really strange in my opinion. But I think the figure on its own looks good. The accessories are not the best, but Superman doesn't really need accessories in my opinion. Um, so yeah, basically when it comes down to it, I think the figure is great. Only complaint about the figure is the slightly different flesh tone from the head to the neck, because it makes it a little jarring when you look at it, but not a huge problem. I definitely think the pincer weapon is kind of fun. The shield's not really that great, but what are you going to do? I think, maybe you could make it work clipping it onto a vehicle or something like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's a fun figure. The nice thing is these are relatively inexpensive. It's about $7.99 for everything you see here. So if you're just looking for a fun little Superman figure, especially for a kid, I think they'd have a blast with these. Especially the more you buy, you can swap the accessories. You can connect them to vehicles if you buy those. I think that's going to be a nice play pattern for kids, because if you get a couple of these, you can really mix and match stuff and get a lot of play value out of that. And I think it's a very decent little figure for $8, kind of in the same range as like a Ninja Turtle or something like that. A lot of great points of articulation. Paint's pretty sharp. The cape is nice. It's just a fun little Superman figure. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to hear your opinions. Please like and share this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Justice League action figure of Superman. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.